Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I want to show you what support and resistance means and how to act on it. Now this is probably the most important explainer video I have done, but my goal for all of these is that once you know all the pieces of the puzzle, you can use them together to actually start trading or investing. Now last time we drew this level, which was a local resistance, and it did shoot a little bit through it, but you could see right before it, we had a local compression, which means the price is going to one particular point. It's compressed and then it shoots out. But then here again, you see interaction, 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 and we go down. That's because it's resistance. So this line, in this case, if you're below it, you bounce off it because it's resistance. Once you break through it, usually, at least, you can kind of see it here. When you go back to it, it becomes support as you bounce up. Now this is basically what support and resistance means. It's a certain level in the price, which has a lot of volume, which is money. I'll quickly draw it over for you around here. So this peak over here is where most money is. Now this peak over here is also where I drew my line because of the price action. The candle's not making a lot of moves because people weren't sure if they wanted to buy or sell. That's why there's a lot of money built up, which is volume again, which is why there is usually resistance or support at those levels. See how it all connects together, the candles, the volume, again, which is money flow. That creates support and resistance. It all works together. Now this is on the lower time frame of 15 minutes, but let me show you on the big time frame. So here we have the big time frame of 1 day. So each candle, which for the people that didn't watch the videos about candles, is these sticks. The green and red ones are called candles. Watch that video if you haven't. Now this is the 2021 bull market, and I base a lot of this stuff on this bull market because we are in the bull market as we speak right now. So it's hard to tell what's going to happen, because nobody can predict the future exactly. Now, if you look at the 2021 bull market, we were in the kind of the bear market after 2017. We have this drop off right here, which was resistance. We then challenged the resistance and went straight through it, at least on the daily, right? On the local smaller time frames, you can probably see more interaction. But what is so great about this example, actually, you can already see this wick, which is where the price has been, touched this exact level of resistance. But because we were above it, we broke through it, it became support. If that was your long-term trade, you would have had a percentage of risk, which is just crazy, and crazy low that is, and 122% profit. Now, obviously that's the perfect scenario, but this is a classic case of support resistance. Now we actually got close to that resistance and went back up again with 60%. Now another example, but downwards, is this little moment where you drop off here. You can either use this one or this one. We went down some more, we picked back up, and then we meet this last drop off, which was a resistance level, and we went down further, minus 36%. And then later again on that same level, and then later again on that same level. And the beauty of it is you can see over here, and I'm literally drawing this as we go. Here it was still resistance, here it was still resistance. We broke through it, we stayed above it, which is a strong sign, but we couldn't go up further, so we needed some liquidity, which is basically where there is a lot of buy or sell orders, which again is where there's a lot of volume. See how everything sticks together. Anyhow, we go back to that resistance level, but now it's a support level, and boom, the rest is history. It's kind of crazy. Would have been, it's 500+%. Okay, let's just say that. Now that's obviously if you were there in that moment. Now the same reason why this was like a double top is because this was the latest resistance. We went through it a little bit, but we didn't stay above it, so it wasn't a strong sign. This part is where we failed here. We dropped all the way back down here, but this is a support level, so we went all the way back up. It's a constant game of, you know, here's like another resistance, boom, we didn't gain this, which gaining means you break through it, you hold, and then you test back on it, which it becomes support, and then you go back up. We didn't go above it, we didn't break through it, so we went down even more. Now this example is not as clean, but we dropped down, we finally went back up. You see some struggle over here, which creates extra volume, which is money again. If you draw this line over it, you can see one of the peaks is here. This didn't exist yet. So this is where the volume was. And then we went above and we stayed above it, which again is a strong sign. We tested back pretty aggressively, actually, on the one of the top pieces of this little range, which I've talked about before. Then we went back up, we had a higher high, but we did make a lower low, strangely enough. But because this is now a support level, because there's volume, the sellers started losing and the buyers started winning, basically. And then we went up, and then you see this little red day candle, and that's because there was resistance, and you can keep going forever with this. Now, what does this mean for the recent price action now? Now, if we go further down, this means that technically the level of $73,000 Bitcoin price, again, I'm not a financial advisor, is one of these resistance points turned into support. So let me draw this little dot, and you can already see we tried to break through it, we failed, we made a higher low, and boom, we broke through it. So now it would be kind of logical to test it back and then continue the bull market. Crazy. Anyhow, that would be one of the points. And then another one is around here, which also translates to this point over here because of this last impulse. This is kind of the other support level that we have to hold. And yes, technically in between every nice pulse amount of days is a local support, but the bigger moves, the bigger support levels is this one and this one at 52k, and that sounds like a lot to drop down to, but we've seen pretty crazy stuff. Now obviously there's not only a scenario where we go down, so what about up? Now obviously you can see that this top, or wherever, if you want to take the wick, this top was the resistance. We could not break and we went down. We couldn't hold this local support and we went down further. Now we couldn't hold this local support. People were like, are we buying or are we selling? And then there wasn't enough buying pressure, so we went down further to find new buying pressure. And apparently we found it at 78k, and then we went back up, but we couldn't even reach this local resistance. And we went down very fast, which again is not a strong sign. If this is a resistance level, you want to break above it and stay there and then test back on it to go up further. What you don't want to see is you break through it and then you go down straight through it again. That's not a strong sign. That's basically what happened here. This was based on news, so there's a lot of fresh money which then sells again at the slightest of panic. But upwards levels, this drop off definitely is one of them, but I guess the first local drop off would be somewhere in this area. Let's say here, because it used to be resistance here, it used to be support here, it used to be support here, here again, and now it's resistance here. So the upward scenario is we probably either test it back and then find a higher low and then we break through it. Maybe a tiny bit of interaction here because there's some volume, but the real challenge is here. Then we test back, find a higher low, maybe this resistance, right, because it's now support, and then we start climbing the ladder wherever it leads us. So that's the upward scenario right now with support and resistance. Now I hope this made sense. Let me know in the comments and leave a like on the video, please. Subscribe to the channel, it's a new channel. Join the Discord, we talk about stocks, crypto, the chart. If you have a question about the chart but there's no video at that moment, you can ask me. And yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.